during a 2-hour delay?
He stresses, No, it was interesting. Everybody did a little bit of something, right? You walk around, and then you realize it's going to be extended. You sort of sit down, and luckily some other games are on at that time, so you can try to take your mind off it. Keep going through different scenarios, because the more football you watch, the more you're like, oh man, you may not have thought of that, or you're like, oh man, I got to remind the guys of this. And, so yeah, you just kept waiting and thinking, and I had to try to calm myself and be like, hey, don't overthink. You got the plan, let's roll.
Do you think more after that game about the one drive that they extended, or all the other drives that were so dominant, I guess?
No, I mean, you think about it all, right? But obviously, for us as coaches, like we think about the ones that we really need to improve on, and you think about the missed opportunities, in drive number 2. You think about the missed opportunities on the very first play of the game, and we did 2-hour delay, and not to make excuses, right? 2-hour delay, the guys are amped up, they're ready to go. Good call on their part with the flea flicker, but we talked about, hey, vision, relax, like especially early in games, right? Everybody's amped up, just play. And we should have had that thing capped off, but Pop made a nice play on the second play, and then we come right back out. We make 2 really good plays on first and second down, and have an opportunity on third to get off and just get the thing rolling early, and didn't happen. Didn't execute the way we should have, and but hey, listen, like that's football. We talked about, hey, get off the field by any means necessary. Yeah, we gave up 3 straight first downs. We get another chance at a third down. We talk about rise up in the red zone, so it's a third down red zone, and we talk about turnovers. And so we get all 3 on one play, a third down turnover in the red zone. So, and I think that really sparked, the guys. But I'm also, glad that they got to feel that stress. They needed to feel that stress. And, we've got a really good football team coming in here this week. And so, hopefully we're dialed in and ready to go.
Brad, what's the kind of attitude impact of putting up a goose egg on the scoreboard and keeping the other guys out of the red zone and the end zone? Heading to week 2.
Yeah, you know what? Again, we got to win the week. Last week was last week. Nice job by rising up there in the red zone when we had an opportunity to do it. But that's last week. I hope our guys went in and they watched the game, with the mentality of, okay, let's look at all the things, not that we did well, but all the things that we did poor. And there was plenty on film that we got to get cleaned up, or we'll be in trouble. So I think they did. I think they've attacked this week thus far. We've still got a couple of days left, to finish off the prep and put the finishing touches on it. But it's been a good week. I know they're ready to hopefully come out and play sort of a normal, at least a normal kickoff. No games ever normal, but at least a normal kickoff time.
Brad, what concerns you the most about South Carolina's offense?
Well, first of all, I know they're really well coached. I know Dowell. He's a friend of mine, and he does a really, extensive experience. Does a great job calling games, setting up games. And so he's going to have those guys ready to play. A really talented quarterback. Yes, one that may had some first game jitters. Anticipate him coming in ready just to really light it up. And he's got all the tools. He's got the arm strength. He's got the legs. Obviously, Rocket Sanders there in the backfield, is a proven commodity. And, they've got weapons on the outside edge. The tight ends, I think, are really good players. So you talk about good players with good scheme, and play calling. We've got our work cut out for us.
You expected to see a lot of run-heavy offense from South Carolina again this week?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're going to see a balanced offense. I do. I think people forget about, it's the same situation. I mean, they had to deal with a delay. Things were just all across the board for every team, in college football, or not every team, but in a lot of games how to deal with some really adverse situations. And it's week one, and game one is always tough as it is. So I expect them to come in, be really sharp, really balanced, run and pass. And so we've got to be ready to handle that.
Brad, you've talked about your guys continuing to string performances together, like good games together. Kind of like everyone besides Dion really had a good game on your front. I mean, JJ and Saunders and Ribka, Dion obviously attracting so much attention. So does that kind of give your other guys on the front opportunities to continue to make plays with Dion getting so much attention?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, and I think those guys that you mentioned really strained and played hard. Like they, and I think we've all come accustomed to, Dion just making every play, and it's a sort of in concert. Like he I think people forgot that he did make plays in that game. Like I don't know, some people he didn't make enough. I don't know, but I thought across the front they all did. Excuse me, I'm about to sneeze, but a good job of straining. Playing physical against the run game. I thought that's where it all started. I didn't think they got to a point where they could feel like they could really run the ball effectively, against us. And then the guys I thought did a nice job, in terms of rushing the passer when it was time to do that. Guys on tip balls, we talk about tips and overthrows, and we get 2 tip ball interceptions. And so, yeah, we need more of that this week.
How did you think about JQ perform, Brad, out there with the JL?
Yeah, I thought he did well. I thought he was, again, there was a reason that he, started as many games as he did for us last year, and we've got supreme confidence in him to go out and make plays and perform. And obviously, in that moment was a really big play for us. I know D-Jack he made an unbelievable play, read it perfect, just how we practiced. Would like D-Jack to squeeze the ball, but JQ doing a nice job there cleaning it out.
I think the belief anyway is that when a team plays an opening game, especially against a non-conference opponent, an offense, they're not going to show a whole lot. Is that they save it for the second game, especially with the SEC game? Is that the way it usually happens, or do people go with what they know?
Listen, I don't know, who. I don't know who goes by that philosophy or not. I'm not here to talk about anybody else's philosophy. I know, we approached, Southern Miss full bore. And quite frankly, I think if you do anything else, you make yourself really susceptible to putting an L in the column.
You talked all summer about those 4 talented safeties in the back and finding different ways to mix and match with them. How'd you feel about their first game showing? Yeah,
you know what, I thought they, all got a chance to get in and rotate and played with some different combos. I do think, maybe some played better than others. Again, it's first game. Sometimes there's jitters, but there's some things we've got to get cleaned up there, and they will. There were some mistakes that you don't even see in practice. So we got that addressed and handled, and we'll be in good shape going forward.
Brad, the talent their quarterback has running the ball, keeping plays alive, is gap discipline something you talk about a little more this week, or just standard operating procedure?
No, the thing with QB run game is that it creates an extra gap, and if you play any single high defense, they really, outnumber you in that regard. And so, guys have to be really strong, in terms of their gap control, but then, guys are going to have to sort of play their gap plus, unless you use the post safety or you go to some kind of split safety coverage. So, no, obviously, when a Q can run, it adds that extra dimension, and it forces you to have to do some different things or play with a little bit of a different mentality. So again, it's a huge challenge, and obviously I think everybody saw on full display what he can do when he takes off with the ball.
Alex had a couple of
Last one.
tackles for loss. What did you see from him just playing closer to the ball up in that inside backup position?
Yeah, he played both. He played inside and out. Really kind of almost split the snaps there. And I thought he did, he played well at both. Obviously still some things at times, like they all do, that we got to get cleaned up. But I thought he played fast. I thought he played physical. You can see the confidence. You've got a guy that's, started and played significantly for 2 years. Year 3 you come in and you're like, okay, I got this. And there's just a different presence about him out there, and a physicality and a firmness and a sturdiness. And so that was really good to see.
Hey, folks, thank you very much.
How do you prepare for a mobile quarterback like Lenore Sellers Zion?
You got to be disciplined. You got to do your assignment, and you got to be gap sound. He's a good athlete. He's a good football player. We a bunch of good football players too, so we're ready for the challenge. It's nothing that we've never seen before, but definitely something we have to be prepared to play against. We have to be prepared for them to use him as their number one run guy. So. Yeah, we're ready.
You guys up front on the line, they play well, blew up some plays.
Yeah.
Obviously, you guys
I
get
love that.
credit too for being sticky, but for them to continue to impact plays, does that kind of help you guys out?
It definitely helped us a lot, man. We expect them to be dominant week in, week out, and in some games, if they don't have the push that they want or that we want them to have, we got to be able to go and shut teams down on the back end. But I believe in those guys through and through. We got great front, man. We have guys up there that really want to be football players, really love football, man. So, they do their thing. We know they're gonna do their thing. So that's not even a question. But we ready.
What's the challenge when you face the tailback? Sanders over 230 pounds, Sellers is over 240
We
pounds.
just got to get multiple hats to the ball. We got to be ready to tackle, wrap up, drive our feet, but most importantly, get multiple hats to the ball. Those are big guys. Those aren't guys that you want to have one guy by itself for a long time. We got to run in the ball. It's all about effort. And it's all about, flying around, playing football.
You guys had last Saturday, they were driving on you.
Yeah, and for South Carolina in total, that's a big game for you guys. Obviously,
Yes, sir.
early. How are you guys ramping up for it?
We just got a chip on our shoulder just with the last two, just how the last two games went, last two meetings we had with them. We're chip on our shoulder, just ready to go.
Trayvon, that sack you got on the twist with Dion, you just kind of bullied the guard into the quarterback. Was that play strength for you? Is that like a point of emphasis for you this offseason?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Just getting stronger in the weight room. Me and Coach Ed, we've been working on that since I got here, and it's starting to show now. And I feel way, way, way stronger. So I love it.
Does that allow when you add that play strength? Does that allow you to play faster?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Because it just allows you to play faster because you see things faster. You can do things that you normally wouldn't do. Like you can kind of cheat the game sometimes, just being stronger, being faster, knowing what's coming and stuff. So,
What's the challenge this week when you're facing an offense that's just run heavy? At least they were last week. We don't know what they're going to be yet, but that's going to run. This one will try and kind of come out and try to run it, 50 times in a game.
Stop the run. That's our standard. That's what we do as the defensive line is try to stop the run. So that's what we're going to come out and do.
What about a quarterback who can run the ball the way he does? And tell me about gap discipline.
Everything starts with our eyes. Coach preaches that. Every coach from the defense, from the D-line to top of the defense, preach bad eyes can get you in trouble. So just staying disciplined with our eyes will help us make plays and do what we're supposed to do.
For those of us who haven't yet played D-line in college, what does that mean? Good eyes, bad eyes?
Good eyes. You can't make a play until you beat the guy in front of you. So if I don't whoop my tackle, I can't go shed and make a play in the backfield because I haven't did my job in front of me yet.
Now I'm ready.
Yes, sir. I think you are.
How much more does defensive linemen like playing a team that might run the ball more than pass the ball?
It's fun, It gets us excited. Just going out there, stopping the run. Like, that's what we're supposed to do, going out there, doing the dirty work, and then we get to stop them on second down, and then we go out there on third down and show what we've been working all season. We're not just a run-stop team.
Does anything change for you when their two main ball carriers over 230 pounds? Or is it the same?
Nah, we still going to put hats on them regardless of the weight. We're going to put hats on them. Game tackle, that's what we're going to do.
Do you guys sense any extra confidence in your defense? With so many guys back, right? We've talked about it all offseason, but you guys had your first game. So many starters returning. Did you sense the cohesiveness?
Yeah, I definitely felt just going out there, it's more of a chemistry thing. Like, we all have been playing with each other for a while, so just going out there with energy, knowing I trust the dude next to me, and the dude next to me trusts me to do my job. So it's definitely a different type of energy just because it's a veteran defense.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
I heard everything.
What way does that motivate you? Do you think about it when you're on the field, or is it just like something in practice and workouts that get you through?
No, I wouldn't say I think about it on the field, but when I'm just like an extra motivator when it's time to put work in, you know, it just gives me something to work towards, you know, proving people wrong.
And
You were blowing kisses to the crowd after that pick. Who were you blowing those kisses to?
Oh yeah, I was blessed, and man, it's like a movie, man. It's crazy. My first interception, I had to have my mom up there with my little brother, so I knew where they were sitting at because we came out that same tunnel. So when I caught the interception, I was going right to my mom.
What'd you see on that play?
Man, that play felt like it was in slow motion. I'm a deep third guy. We got shorter zone guys in front of me, and De'Aaron Jackson did a great job doing his job, and they would tip it up and just gave me kind of a blessing. Took advantage of it.
what are those few seconds like when it's in the air there? Are you panicking at all? What are you thinking?
No, man, like I said, it's funny though, man, because it just feel like it's slow motion, and you don't hear the crowd anymore. Like the crowd goes quiet, and the ball just dropping in slow motion.
How long until you hear the crowd again? Is it like once you stand up?
Once I got up and my teammates started patting on my head, I'm like, okay, we here. Yeah.
Have you sensed some cohesiveness with this unit? Obviously, so many guys back from last year's team on defense. All the starters, you taking on a bigger role, but for everyone back, was that cohesiveness like present in that first game?
Absolutely, man, absolutely. I feel like in the back end, also with the safeties, not just the corners, man, but we have such a great relationship to where we hang out, you know, off the field. We go out together on weekends. Like you said, that cohesiveness really helps us out. Like it's sometimes with Children's on my side, we can communicate with just hand signals. We don't even have to talk verbally. I just kind of read off him, and we just have that type of chemistry built through camp and through last year.
Dickie, was there a moment when it clicked for you, either last year, summer, off-season, camp, whenever, that you felt like, okay, I know what I'm doing out here now?
I'd say this camp felt like that. Towards the end of camp, you know, I had to get some kinks out, just coming back from my shoulder surgery. And like I said, more and more reps, I get more comfortable with every rep.
How comfortable are you guys going into this game now that the SEC competition begins, and obviously the competition is going to get a little bit?
Yeah, man, we're not taking these guys lightly at all, man. We're respecting our opponent, and we're training, and we're trying to come out here and just, you know, give a good outing for the fans. You know, we got a bad taste in our mouth from last year, so we got some things to prove, man. And, yeah, we got this game circled on our calendar for sure.
What's left to be desired from a really great performance, nonetheless, on Saturday, JQ?
Just to prove it wasn't a fluke, prove I can be consistent. Like my coach said, that's the biggest thing my coach is preaching to me, man. He wanted me to be consistent and just be consistent. Do it day in and do it day out. Like Coach said, make the routine.
I know you're fairly new, but do you feel like South Carolina's one of those rivals? You know, SEC East isn't a thing anymore, but this is a big game that the fans care about. You know, there was drama with the coaches, whatever. For you guys, do you sense that this is a big game?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Like I said, we had a bad taste in our mouth of last year, man. Like we know for a fact we could have played better last year. I feel like them guys didn't beat us last year. I feel like we beat ourselves. So, like I said, man, just coming out, showing what we're capable of, just continue to prove ourselves 1 week at a time.